along then to round 2 of the 2016 GPVWC World Sports Series season. Now, we may not have gotten off to the best start in Sochi Autodrome in terms of the driving standards, but for sure, some excellent battles, and someone who will be very happy at the top of the Drivers' Championship so far is Risto Capit, as him and Kevin Siggy got off pretty much where they left off from last season and took their first wins of the season. It's a completely different track though, the Circuit de Catalunya. It's got one single long straight, one straight, but apart from that, it's all about downforce and how much speed you can take through the corners. Tyre wear, a factor to consider here. And we will be fascinated to see where the race order shakes up. We're in qualifying at the moment. No, I'm James Kirk. On cameras once again is Mr. Ben Willis. And joining us for the second time in 2 weeks is Mr. Josh Anderson. And Josh, we were thinking, how much will the weight affect keeping qualifying? Of course, the top four, only the top four are here today, by the way. So that's Capit, Siggy, Francic, and if I can remember off the top of my head, which I can't, Ruud Heasterbeek, there we are. They all have weight today. We were thinking, surely this is going to affect them in qualifying. Surely they're going to be much lower down the order than expected. For Heasterbeek, it looks like the case, outside of the top 10. So for David Francic, affecting him not so much. He's P5. But the guys with the most weight ballast, Risto Capit and Kevin Siggy, they're currently up the top there again. And Capit, in fact, is on provisional pole position by 0.3 of a second.
Well, that just shows how good he is, doesn't it? I mean, we all know how good he is, as we've seen from his exploits here at GPV. And Risto is just, even with all this weight he's got, he's showing how good he is. He's just out there, on pole by 0.3 of a second. And you got to think that someone's got to put some big shot of a lap, and as Nico Barkley just goes up the second there, but he's still 0.3 out on Risto, so someone's going to have to do a flyer with not much weight to be able to do so. But looking further down the qualifying grid at the moment, things are a lot closer. I mean, you've got Barkley, Siggy, Olsen, Wiesenboller, Francic not within much of each other, so that's probably where we're going to see the most fights for position in terms of qualifying.
I just find it so fascinating that Capit has got 45 kilograms of weight ballast, the most that you can hold in this series, and he still holds that much of a margin. You can imagine how much practice he has potentially put into this event. A very talented driver, and if he can hold on for the next 3 minutes or so of qualifying, then he'll be on to take his second pole position of the year already. Just a note, we have a few grid penalties to sort out as well, to consider in the greater context of things. So Niranjan Kumar, Thomas Hinz, who isn't here yet, may still turn up. Augustin Canapino, Chris Shepherd, and Robert Johnson all have back of the grid penalties. And Canapino, I think, is quite a big one. He's always been a title contender when he's taken part in a full World Sports Series season. So definitely want to watch out from the back there. And people with 5-place grid penalties are Philip Morby, Carlos Fernandez, who actually had a pretty decent day at the office at the Sochi Autodrome, and Jeffrey Fournier, another man who did have a decent day at the office. They all have +5s. So another thing to consider as we've got 2 minutes left. I'd say a great effort from Barclay actually to get up into P2, as I think Kevin Siggy's just starting. No, he's just finished a hot lap, sorry. So he's gone back into P2, but is still 0.3 away from Francic. Let's go on board with him actually, the reigning World Sports Series champion, to give you a little look around the Circuit de Catalunya. We're going into turn 1 here now. It's called Elf. And then straight into turn 2, Breno, before we head round the very difficult turn 3. You want to get on the power much earlier than you can. We've got Augustin Canapino there on the right-hand side. You don't want to go too wide there, otherwise you might infract some sort of miscellaneous penalty from the disciplinary committee. Into Rapuel now. Turn 4, another long in corner where you want to get on the power earlier than you want, as we head down into Sayat now. Turn 5, a much tighter corner. You want to hug the apex nicely before pushing out, squirting out the power. It's a relatively neat little run down now. Turn 6 through into turn 7. And then turn 8, it's an elongated hairpin, and Kevin Siggy loses it there, unfortunately, and crashes into the wall. That's his qualifying as good as over.
I'll tell you who's quite close really is Sven de Vries coming out, I think, the same corner. So if you want to continue on with Sven, then
great.
Good.
Thank you very much, Sven. Picking up with him then, into Camps we go. This is turn 9. Again, you want to go on the power much earlier than you want. You can go wide there very easily. And now, this is the mini straight. This is where the top line speeds will still come into effect before we head to the heavy braking zone of Kajsa, also known as turn 10. We then got a small little straight here as we head up into a neat little complex, turn 11, and then the Banca de Sabadell, turn 12. Again, you want to put the power down so much quicker than you actually can before we head into the final sector here now. Europe car, turn 13. The Mickey Mouse chicane of turn 14 and turn 15. And then the final corner, turn 16 of New Holland. This is the end of the lap. And I do notice that Sven de Vries has actually jumped up to third in the time that we were looking elsewhere. Has he jumped up again? No, he hasn't. But he's got one more lap to do something with 5 seconds left.
Yes, Sven, not quite overhauling Kevin Siggy yet. Would be fantastic if he could have done all this, because it'll pump him up to second, and that'll be a great result for Adonis as well. And
Barclay's done, Olsen's done. I'm looking at Kumar's done, Francic is done. I guess really it's between. Let's see, where's Canapino on track? He's going round still. Carlos Fernandez here in P12. He's still got the final corners to go. He's got Menno Clont to traverse in the TR Motorsports car. So welcome back, Menno, to the series. Can Fernandez improve his position? No, he can't. So that leaves basically De Vries, Wiesenmuller, and Canapino left out on track to make any sort of impact, although Canapino is a back-of-the-grid penalty. Wiesenmuller in the ice cold. Coming around the final corner now, replacing Lewis McGlade from round 1, who had a great start for ice cold. And no improvement there from Wiesenmuller. Let's see, where's Canapino? Canapino's just gone off track there at turn 9, I think. Where's De Vries? Let's see, he's coming around turn 9 as well. So let's go on board with Canapino, shall we? He's probably going to complete his lap, I'd imagine, with Hin's Motorsport. Outside of the top 10, Canapino. That is very surprising, given that he's got no weight at all. He's battling for glory at the back of the grid, in which he wouldn't even be the leader of the back of the grid people. Naranjan Kumar would be the lead of those drivers. We'll see whether Canapino can change that. He's going to have to find literally a 10th to go above Kumar, and he doesn't do it. So P12 for Canapino. He'll be very disappointed by that. Sven de Vries into the pits, but at the end of the day, pole position was sorted a long, long time ago. Risto Capit takes his second consecutive of the season.
Yep, indeed. That's a second pole position and a very, very good one for Bristol, all things considered. He's got the weight, he's got pole position. That's going to give him a ton of confidence going into the races. But a couple of, obviously, Nico Barkley, great job to get into 4th. Kevin Siggy, very good in 2nd. Sven de Vries 3rd. Robert Wiesenmuller in 6th. And I think his first race of the World Sport Series World Sport Series season. So, welcome back, Robert. And P6 is not a bad way to start things.
And then we've got
I was just going to say, I've just remembered, actually. This is just coming to us. When you were going through the people who had back of the grids, Luke Walsh has one as well. He's in P20, so he'll start.
Oh, so he's joined.
But,
okay.
Yeah, he's not really, he wasn't really that far front anyway, so it doesn't really make too much difference.
No, it's worth considering. No, I didn't realise he was here. I didn't realise he was here, to be fair. He's speaking, Francic actually did nice little improvements with weight ballast, both of them, to 7th and 8th. Kumar's got a back of the grid, and Fournier's got a +5. So that'll mean that De Vos starts P9, and don't get me wrong here, I think Cameron Brewster will round out the top 10, actually.
Yeah, Canapino has a back of the grid. I was thinking him. Fernandez has a 5 slot.
Yeah, because,
Robert Youngson would so he does.
Yeah, Fournier's got a 5 slot, so he would start P15, so Brewster starts P10.
Yeah, well done, Cam, for top 10, I suppose.
I mean,
he
from
showed how good he was.
P15 as well.
We've seen he's been very good in the World Sports Series in 2014 and 2015, so to have a top 10 here at Spain, where he's done so well historically, gives him a good chance.
Yeah, didn't have the best of rounds, actually, Brewster. He got 5 points on the board, but to be fair, it just wasn't Epic's round, it's fair to say. 11th and the 13th, the only point scoring positions that they attained, and that was in race 2 as well. But starting from a much better position, I would say, for Brewster. And as long as he can make it through turn 1, then I'm sure that will be what will get him on the right track to more points. Speaking of points, let's go through the drivers and teams championships, or at least the top 5 of each, to see where we are early stages. So Risto Capit, best start to the campaign possible, really. 34 points with a win and the 7th place in Sochi. Behind him is his good rival Kevin Siggy, reigning champion, of course, 28 points. So 6 points separating the top 2. 7 points separating the top 3. However, Rudy Speak had a great return to the World Sports Series, a 5th and a 3rd, which means he's on 27. David Francic, 1 point behind him on 26, meaning that the top 4 are separated by 8 points, and the top 5 are separated by only 10 points as well, actually, considering Thomas Hinz with his first podium of the year, and indeed in the series, I think, but Hinz has not turned up as of yet, so he could find himself tumbling down the order as we exit this evening's entertainment. And as for the team's championship, Vodball had a fantastic start to proceedings. A win, a 2nd, a 7th, and a 10th. It means that they have almost double the amount of points as second-placed Adonis Engineering. Vodball on 60, Adonis on 36. Why the F1? Definitely a team which we were expecting good things from. Barclay and DeVos seemed like a very, very capable lineup, and they've shown it early doors as well. 28 points for them. Just looking at the standings, though, actually, they're 4th behind Enterprise GP, who are also on 28 points. Enterprise have that win from Kevin Siggy, though, which means that they are in 3rd. I haven't updated the wiki recently, so that's why I'm behind on these things. And Drake Racing, of course, with their podium, are in 5th with 24 points. They are definitely on 24 points, but Ice Cold Racing are only 3 behind on 21, and with only 1 driver here so far for Drake, the situation could get worse as the evening progresses. So, really, I think, Josh, that we were expecting the people to be at the front It's not been like other series where the form tables have been turned because we've not just had a new simulator, but a new mod. Here, yes, we've got a new simulator, but it's just an evolution of the same mod which we had last year, so it's got a lot more of a familiar feel, perhaps, to it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't quite have the CPM tyre model yet, which hopefully should be implemented if it gets developed, because that would be a fantastic thing to have, and it would add to the spectacle. But you know, it's very much an evolution of the mod we used last year. So people who are familiar with it then might be more familiar with it here than if it was a completely different mod. A couple of teams that didn't have a very good start of the season. Viking Racing was one with only Carlos Fernandez after the debacle we had last race. I'd expect them to move further up. I mean, Morten Verneson's in the car, obviously making up the 2nd car after proceedings last race. Morten's a very capable driver himself.
Previous podium taker, Morten Werneson, although I think, to be fair, all of his podiums have been reverse grid, but it does mean that he gets into the right places at the right time.
Yeah, Morten can definitely drive, as we've seen. You know, he's had podiums before, so keep an eye on him. Cos Motorsport's another team as well. Alex van der Woude not here today, unfortunately, but they have brought in David Junt, who, well, has been very successful at his time in GPV. And David's hoping probably to get a good outing here. And we've got a couple of new faces as well. Tim Brockmeyer for EG Engineering, never seen him about, so it'll be interesting to see how he does.
And of course, in terms of other ins and outs, Menno Klont driving for TR Motorsports, who were completely absent from last round, and I think that actually only one TR Motorsports has turned up today as well, which could put their attendance into the spotlight of the league administration already.
There is a TR driver.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said he was EJ.
No, I might have, but I meant TR.
Okay, we got TR drivers then. I apologise, TR Motorsports. Either way, they did miss the entire first round with both cars. Not the best of starts. Hopefully they can get back on track here today. And actually, to be honest, I think apart from him, was Joel Pereira here last year?
I think he was. Pereira was here last time.
Yes, he was. And actually, newcomers as well. Henrik Ossiansen makes his bow for Mazurek Racing, so it's Swedish action at Mazurek Racing now, who only had 1 car last time out in Sochi. As I say, Robert Wiesenmuller in for McGlade. I believe that's a permanent appointment. And Argo Today missing out through injury today for Enterprise GP, so Right Tulikas, well known from the Super Cup, is in his place. And I think that covers all of the people. We are missing 5 individual cars, though, still. I think that might be 4 only now, because David Junt's left the server. But yeah, I'm interested to see how David does, actually. I liken him to the Felipe Massa of our series. Ever so close to a title in 2014. Snatched away from his grasps by Jesper Tolborg, or Jesper Nielsen, of course, as he goes by now. I haven't seen Jesper in a while as well. It would be nice to see him back in a series sometime soon. But then the next year in 2015, it was just... It was there and thereabouts. You could see where his string of results came from, but you never really expected him to pull together the same sort of form which took him so close to the title, ending up in 7th place at the end of the 2015 campaign, David, with no win to his name and 2 podiums. That said, in that 2015 season, he failed to score points only twice, and I think he retired only once, but was still classified, so he doesn't have an official retirement to his name for 2015. So I'm not sure how permanent the unfixture is, but it's nice to see him back either way. He's always been a good addition to the series.
He is, yeah. It's always nice to see him drive. He always throws up some. He throws some very good results. As you say, he has actually won a title at GPV. He's the 2015 Masters champ. Well, he was the 2015 Masters champion, even though the season was cancelled halfway through. But now he's still technically entitled to his name.
It's like when a race gets ended early, and someone's announced the winner.
You are still a winner.
You're in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, he technically is a champion, and no one can take that away from him. But as you rightly say, he's yet to win a major title here, like in terms of World Sports Series or World GT or whatever. So, be interesting to see how he does here. And he usually does throw some very good results. So, yeah, good to see David back.
I would be hesitant to say that anybody who comes into the championship now, though, is there going to be a title? Is there going to be? Wow, I'm going Italian there. Is going to be a title contender? I already think that with Risto and Kevin showing that they've basically they're kicking off where they left off last year, you're going to need some monumental efforts to look past those two for the title once again. Maybe they will slip up more often this year. I certainly think that the likes of Easterbeek, Francic are in with a chance as well, but I don't know, past those four, it's very difficult to see anybody else taking this title, Josh.
It would be a very difficult thing to do. I wouldn't rule it out, but it would take the most multi-million efforts. It's like winning the lottery, I'd say. It's not impossible, but the chances of it happening to you aren't very likely at all. And that's what I think about this. It could happen. We could get some super alien who comes in and wins everything, but it would be extremely unlikely.
It'd be interesting to see if there would be another person to actually challenge those top two on the pure pace. I think it's very telling that, and I realise that the circuit to Barcelona, Catalunya isn't exactly the best track to show up weight ballast for what it is. There's hardly much straight line action to really, make it show. I think Monza's probably the worst case scenario for weight ballast drivers, but the fact of the matter is that Risto and Kevin still lock out the front row of the grid with 45 and 36 kilograms of weight ballast respectively. They are just incredibly talented drivers in this series. And I'd actually like to ask you, Josh, in regards to that, it's very rare when you get a mod and a driver really in tune with each other. This is one of those cases where we've had two drivers in that sort of situation. Does this mean, therefore, that really there should be a call for a mod change next year, absolutely, for the benefit of the series? Or do you think that we still get excellent racing and we'd still get a good fight for the title if we retained the flat six? I know it's very early days, but obviously it's quite demoralising for drivers coming into the series to see just how far ahead those two are, even with weight ballast.
I don't think there should be a mod change. I think the flat six mod is great, but obviously it's always a good idea to keep an eye out for potential changes. If there's a mod that's out there that's better, it should be used. But as a mod, for racing sort of World Sports Series, as it stands, it's very good, and I think it can only get better. Were it me running the league, I'd keep it as it is myself, but if a better mod arose, I would absolutely look into it. So, you've got to keep an eye out for things like this, but it works, so why change it?
Well, as I say, that is a discussion for much later down the line. I was just interested to get early impression thoughts, because those two are clearly the class of the field, unless they slip up lots this year, which still has plenty of time to happen. It's round 2 of 8 in what for the first time is a decreased World Sports Series campaign. It's the shortest campaign since the inaugural campaign, I should say, of 2012, which only had 6 rounds. All World Sports Series campaigns, apart from that, have had 10 rounds. So there's a lot less time to make your mark on a championship. And I think perhaps that's why getting good results in early doors is even more important than before. For Kevin Siggy, he's currently a few points behind Capit, as is Heasterbeek, as is Francic. I think for them, they'll be hoping to finish ahead of him in as many races as possible. Also to note, actually, is that Risto Capit isn't potentially taking part in the last 2 rounds of this World Sports Series season either. So, again, finishing ahead of him now means that you've already established some sort of advantage for yourself when you get to those 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's always good to have such an advantage, and starting on early at the season is a good thing to have. And I'm just looking, because thinking about it, Siggy and Capit are the top 2, obviously, as we've mentioned. And I was personally, you're right. They are probably going to be the dominant forces, and if they can get good starts, they're going to be the ones challenging for the title. If they can pull anyone else out of contention, they only have to focus on themselves.
Absolutely.
I mean, if he were here, the only person I'd say who could probably, one of the only people who could match him was Eric Strana, because we've certainly seen how good Strana is in R 2. Only just came within one bad result of whitewashing the Masters Series this year. So he is incredibly talented, but he's not here. So it's really between those 2, as you say.
We are missing Eric. Very good point. We won't be missing this race, though. That's for sure. And leading us off on pole position for the 2nd time this year already. Risto Capit, then, for Vodbull Racing. He is followed by reigning champion Kevin Siggy for Simtech Enterprise GP. Sven de Vries is going to line up 3rd on the grid for Adonis Engineering. Had a bit of a mare last time with incidents galore surrounding him. Maybe nearer the front, he'll be able to get away from that sort of shenanigans. Behind him, Nico Barclay. Great effort from the YDF1 driver. P4 with Tobias Olsen, the leader of Mazurix in P5. Had a very solid day at the office, actually, Olsen. Bad qualifying last time. Excellent races, though. In a much better position as well today. Robert Wiesenmuller on his bow in the series for this season. P6 for Ice Cold Racing with Ruud Heasterbeek, who I remind you has 27 kilograms of weight ballast. Richard Capit is 45. Kevin Siggy is 36. Heasterbeek's P7 for Adonis Engineering with David Francic, who's got 18 kilograms of weight ballast. P8 for Vodbull. So we're actually going weight ballast in decreasing order down the grid. That's pretty interesting, I think. Bart DeVos is 9 for YDF1, making it 2 YDF1s in the top 10. And Cameron Brewster rounds out the top 10 for Epic Racing. Jeffrey Fournier, after a 5-place grid penalty, will start P11 for Apex with Tom Parker. P12 for Epic Racing. That's much better from the English outfit. Wright Tulicus on his debut in the series will start P13 for Simtech Enterprise GP, with Carlos Fernandez after a 5-place grid penalty starting P14. Tim Brockmeyer, welcome to GPVWC. He starts P15 for TR Motorsports, with another debutant at GPVWC, Henrik Ossiansen, P16 for Mazurich Motorsports. Morten Wernerson, welcome back to the World Sports Series. He's P17 for Viking Racing, with Philip Morby, P18 for Drake Racing. We then have Joel Pereira, P19 for EJ Engineering, and Adrian Brazil, who I think this is one of his best qualifying efforts of the year, probably, P20 for Sedev. We then have David Junt on his return to the series with Cosmo Autosport, P21. Menno Klomp, P22 for TR Motorsports. Niranjan Kumar after a back-of-the-grid penalty, P23 for Sedev. We then have Augustin Canapino, P24 for Hinz Motorsport, also back of the grid. Jonsson in the Ice Cold, another back of the grid. Shepard, another back of the grid for Apex Racing. And Luke Walsh rounding out the grid in P27. You guessed it, another back of the grid.
Yeah, not as many as we've seen so far this year. I mean, obviously it's only the first round, but people are starting to get used to these new track limits in the simulator. And, great job to Brazano, Adrian Brazano as well for 20th. That's a really good result. But I think we're about to get stuff underway here. And, well, this should be a fun one. I've got the alcohol for a beer and I'm ready. But are you ready, James? I'm sure you are.
I'm never ready. That's the fun of it. So we look up to the lights now. Everyone just trying to get into position. We have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we got 5. And we're racing here in Barcelona. And it's a good start there from Risto Capit. Kevin Siggy bogs down off the line. Instantly going ultra defensive on Sven de Vries. And as we head down to turn 1 and everyone running down. Look at Sven de Vries there going on the inside. looking to take positions. Kevin Siggy with a much... Oh, he breaks late, but at least he's not spun this time. Further down the order, there's people moving about. Bart DeVos has had a terrible start. He's down to P11. Jeffrey Fournier's jumped him already, as has Cameron Brewster up into P9. Olsen's not had the best of starts. He's been jumped by Visa Muller and Heesbeek, although Olsen diving down the inside into Repoil there. Takes back P6 from Heesbeek, but Risto Capit looking good already. Kevin Siggy just behind him. Sven de Vries actually still there or thereabouts, but he's leading this massive, long, snaking train. That's right, Tulikas off there. Down at turn 5 at Seat. He rejoins back in P19. As I think that's no one else really in too much grief. I haven't seen anyone retire yet. No, Pereira's not had a good start. He's down to P27, and Henrik Ossiansen on his debut down to P23, unfortunately. So people with a couple of issues, but someone with big issues is Risto Capit. Kevin Siggy diving down the inside there. That was it reminded me of that Sochi move. He's got to be careful, Siggy, down at La Caixa. He's now let Sven de Vries right back with him here. Nico Barclay holding super for Visa Muller now, leading that long train from P5 all the way down effectively to what? P13? I think it goes even further than that, to be honest. But as we round New Holland for the first time of asking, at the end of lap 1, it is Risto Capit who leads from Kevin Siggy, Sven de Vries, Nico Barclay, Robert Visa Muller, Tobias Olsen, Rune Heesterbeek, David Francis, Cameron Brewster, and Jeffrey Fournier rounding out the top 10.
I'll tell you who's got a good start on all this. David Junt, he didn't even start up in qualifying. He's up to P16, under 5, and Augustin Cardino down 17th.
Sorry, Kevin Siggy was just going for Risto Capit. He didn't make it sick. Robert Visa Muller's gone for Olsen. Oh, no, Robert Visa Muller was defending off Olsen, sorry. He's been able to keep on to P5. And what about... David Francis is round in P14, 16. He's round. Who was he battling with there? Let's see, it was with Cameron Brewster. He went into the corner, and he completely lost it. He went wide over the anti-cuts, and he rejoined straight into Bart DeVos. And he actually spun DeVos because of that as well. Very poor rejoin from David Frančić, unfortunately. And now he's well out of the points. And I'll tell you what, that's a good point. It's a good point to focus on Canapino and Yunt, actually, because they started near the back of the grid, and now they are both into the points.
Yeah, I was just watching my Tulicast there. I saw him make a move on somebody and get through. I'm just watching right here, and it looks... Yeah, he got a very good move on Bernison. I thought he went too far in the track, but he didn't. That was just me being delusional. Tulicast now having to go... Well, going to catch up with Young for 15th, but back up in front, as you rightly say. I don't know what you were talking about. Do keep on, James. I've lost already.
I was going to say... Perhaps the weight is having a bigger effect in the race than we were anticipating, because Sven de Vries and Nico Barclay are keeping up with our leaders here very nicely indeed. They are all covered by a second, these top 4. And watch out for Robert Visa Muller as well, holding on to the top 4. He could potentially, that's the word I was looking for.
Heesterbeek out,
as Heesterbeek and Clont have both disconnected, I think.
Yeah, that's both out.
And Fernandez is out as well.
This could be a bigger problem.
As Siggy, is going on Capit. And what on earth happened there? Capit's gone off. And was that Siggy dive bombing again? Yes, it was. Completely Kevin Siggy's fault. He's caused yet another incident, but this time he's taken out Risto Capit. And that is poor driving from Kevin Siggy, really not showing his good colours here today. Still fighting as well. That means that Sven de Vries takes the lead of this race, but 3 people there, all disconnecting in one fell swoop. Clont, Heesterbeek and Fernandez, all out of this race.
Yeah, that's about a 9th of the field right there. Obviously not enough possibly to cause a red flag, but it is at the race director's discretion. I'm hoping it doesn't come to that, but it is strange we lose 3 within... Obviously, so close to each other. We've had disconnects before this season, where several people have disconnected at once. But right now, Sven de Vries does lead the race. That's all he's going to be worried about.
What's happened to Kevin Siggy? Is Kevin Siggy waiting up for Capit?
If
he is,
that is the most gentlemanly move.
That is a great show of sportsmanship from Kevin Siggy. That is a hell of a lot of positions he just gave up to wait for him. He finds himself behind his teammate now, right Tulicus. But really, while that's going on, the battle for the lead is still flaring up between Sven de Vries and Nico Barclay. I don't think either were going to think that they were going to be in a position to fight for the win of this race, but here they are, ready and raring. And look at Wiese Muller and Olsen behind as well. Tobias Olsen with a chance of a podium here for Mazurek Racing. He's on the back of the German. Serious chance. He's going on the outside here into Elf. Olsen's going to regulate contact between the two. Olsen around the outside. Breaks a bit too late. Wiese Muller holds on for now.
Yeah, Wiese Muller had the better line there. There was a bit of contact between the two, but you are going to expect a bit of argy-bargy in tin tops like this. Wiese Muller, of course, is a very experienced driver in his own right, and will hope to hang on to that third and get ice cold the podium as well as he can. But Nico Bach is not losing the back of De Vries here. The American is going to have a very hard time of it.
While the F1 have won before in the World Tour Series with Bart de Vos, they have not won a race one, however. And Nico Barclay is in with a very good shout of, if not podium in, I should say, taking the actual win here. Sven de Vries, however, is also a very experienced campaigner. He's also taken wins in the World Sports Series, as has Adonis Engineering as an outfit. They are down to one car only, remember now. I think this is going to be a battle that runs and runs, as is Wiese Muller Olsen. Jeffrey Fortier from outside the top 10 now finds himself in P5 for Apex. They'll be delighted with that. And Cameron Brewster, by staying out of trouble, is P6 with Tom Parker P7. So Epic are looking for a good result as well. Yeah, I see Philip Morby P8 and Augustin Canapino. Did he knock Brockmeyer off the track?
I don't think he hit anyone.
Let's have a look here. Brockmeyer in the top 10, by the way. It was a very late dive from Canapino, but it worked as Wiese Muller and Olsen, are going into battle as well. Wiese Muller holding on for now. But yeah, it was a late dive, but Canapino made it sick. And now around the outside of Philip Morby, he's muscled his way through. That's a great move from Canapino. Really opportunistic. He saw the door. He went for it. He stuck his foot in. That's a rugged move. As who's 3 wide there? Look at this. Capit. Brockmeyer.
This is going to be a disaster.
No. Oh, that's who's that? Is that Brockmeyer off the track? Brockmeyer off the track. Capit up into 9th. And the two Enterprises are in battle as well. Oh my goodness me. The two Enterprises make contact and Siggy's through to P12. Absolute madness in this midfield. But clean racing, I think. Brockmeyer still in P11, Morby P10, Capit the one who's gained the most out of that. He's up to P9. Absolutely manic stuff. Here's Shepherd in 14th, Yunt in 15th, and Kumar, who started at the back of the grid. He is P16. Luke Walsh, who actually fully started at the back of the grid. P17. Great racing all around.
Yep, that's some fantastic drives there. Yunt into the points. Walsh 17th, as you say. Shepherd into 14th, trying to hold off the Swiss at the moment. And well, he is looking a bit squiggly, is Shepherd, but he's not. He is doing the job of holding them off very well. The two Enterprises battling SCA, Captain in 9th, Morby 10th, and well, De Vries, Barclay's paled out a bit, but this whole Wiese Muller Johnson fight at the front is still very much alive and kicking.
Yep, absolutely. As I think Kevin Siggy here is going to be making a move on Tim Brockmeyer here. I tell you what, Brockmeyer, the German's doing a good job here so far. Oh, that was my voice breaking, but he's not been able to keep Kevin Siggy at bay. Goes deep at Lekaiksa and lets the Austrian through, but fair play to Brockmeyer. It is difficult to get into the points in this sort of a field with this sort of pace. He's giving a good account to himself in P12.
Definitely making all the right noises at the moment, Brockmeyer. As gets very close to Siggy at 8 until he wants his P11. The chance has not provided itself to him so far. Could get such a chance. Well, he's quite far in, as he's going to have to defend Tulicast, who is going to want to go to P12, make it an Enterprise 11-12 as it stands. But Wiese Muller has made serious inroads on Nico Barclay.
He has, yes. I'm just going to have a little look at this Tulicast Brockmeyer. I think Brockmeyer is correct, and actually Tulicast through on Brockmeyer there into turn 1 all the way out, breaks himself, and Brockmeyer retains the position. And I think will Shepherd have a look? No, he won't. So let's look at Barclay now. Wiese Muller diving into Rapoil. And Wiese Muller's got it. I thought that Barclay was going to be fighting for this win. All sorts of sliding out of there as well. Olsen with Wiese Muller as well. Wiese Muller into P2 though. This is the ice cold we remember.
Yep, this seems a bit familiar, doesn't it?
As Olsen goes wide off the track. Well held.
Well, very well held by Tobias. And Nico is trying to have another charge at Robert here for P2. The German's not going to want that to happen. His focus will be on Sven de Vries in P1. But Sven's focus will be just getting that gap up.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 second now, the gap between himself and Wiese Muller. As Robert and Nico are in close battle. Tobias Olsen wanting to get in on this as well. A podium for him very much within his sights as Visa Muller goes wide there. Lekaixa just about wraps it up as Fournier behind all on his own relatively in the context of things. P5, Brewster 6, Parker 7, Canapino 8, and who's that going off? It's Tula Carson Shepherd, and Shepherd flashing his lights. Let's have a look there. Let's see, Shepherd was on the outside of Tula Carson. And Tulikas, I mean, I think it was well defended by Tulikas, actually. I don't see much wrong there. Shepherd went off track of his own accord, so just a bit of lights and handbags, as I like to call it. But let's see, Canapino then P8, Cappy P9, Morby P10. Under pressure now from Kevin Siggy, though. I'm not sure Kevin is too close to Morby to make an attack into turn 1.
He's going to try.
And he's made dive bombs before, hasn't he? Will he try and scare him off the road? Yes, he will. A late dive from Kevin Siggy. Locking up all the tyres. Contact between the two. He's made it stick. I mean, I don't like to see those moves, but he's gotten it stuck and he's into P10.
Yeah, fair enough from Kevin. He didn't make contact actually going in. It was the middle of the corner where it happened. But fair enough, he does get P10 by hook or by crook. And Tim Brockmeyer now going to have a shot on Morby for P11.
Oh, that was poor from Tulikas. Very opportunistic. And he's just caused a big incident as well, unfortunately. Brockmeyer, I feel so sorry for him. He did not deserve that at all. But what that does mean is that David Jones is up into P12, Shepherd up into 13th, Umar 14th, and Luke Walsh from the back of the grid up into P15. That is a great effort from the Englishman.
Yeah, it's all he can hope for, really, from the back, and even possibly better. I mean, Niranjan Kumar is up next for him in P14, and he'll be the target. David Young, having not set a qualifying, that was really found his feet in this race at the moment. He's P12, defending from Chris Shepard and the likes.
Going up to P3 now, Nico Barclay. He has lost Robert Wiesemuller, but he has not lost Tobias Olsen, the Swede, all over the back of the Peruvian here. And you know what? Here I was thinking Barkley's going to be battling for the lead. At this current rate, he's going to be struggling to hold on to the podium.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good for Barkley at the moment. He's got Olsen behind within striking distance, but we said goes super defensive down the inside. Not going to stop the Swede, though. He's going to want to try and make this work somewhere or another. It's to go into one here, and Barkley has the line.
That's good defending from the Peruvian. He's got half a race to defend his podium, though. It's a long, long time. As let's see here. I note that Risto Capit's catching up to Augustin Canapino, as is Kevin Siggy. Now he is free of Morby, who's all in his own 11th, actually. Yunt in P12, though, has got Chris Shepard on the back of him now. And the Swiss versus English battle is, Tobias Olsen's through on Barclay. That was quick. It didn't even last one lap.
It looked to me like Nico made a mistake, and that's how Tobias went through.
Barclay went wide there at Rapal, and Olsen is onto the podium. It's sort of a double-edged sword, though, because the top 5 from race 1 gain the weight ballast that was given to the top 5 in the championship in qualifying and race 1 itself. So Olsen provisionally will be loaded up with 27 kilograms of weight ballast for race 2. And, of course, there's the reverse grid as well. So he'll get the points now, but will it lead to a bit of a negative result in I was going to say race 2, as Augustin Canapino, contact with Brewster. Well, what's happened there? Let's see, Canapino must have gone wide somewhere, because Brewster, actually no, this was Canapino catching up on Brewster, I should say. Parker, sorry. It was contact between the two of them, and then Parker rejoined and took Canapino off the track. And then what happened to Canapino rejoining? He rejoined safely. So there was contact between Canapino and Parker. Parker went off track, but then Parker rejoined dangerously into Canapino. I don't really know how to call that one. It was sort of like the cuffs from one end and then fisticuffs to the other, and two wrongs do not make a right. What is making a right sound, though, is Risto Capit getting past Tom Parker. He's now back up into P7. Apologies, Cam, actually. It was Tom Parker who was involved in that.
Yeah, Captain, as you said, going back up into P7, he's totally making a charge, as we know he full well can. Bartley has not let Tobias Olsen go. Olsen now makes a mistake, and is letting the Peruvian have a shot at P3 if he can get this leg. Yeah, but Olsen has the line at the turn here, but it looks to me like Nico, he's taking advantage of the mistake that Olsen's made, And the status quo almost restored there, but now Barkley's got to still make the overtaking move, although he is closer.
Yep, for sure. As let's see then. Kevin Siggy now catching up onto the back of Agustin Canapino as well. So, oh my word, look how close he's gotten already as he looks into turn 9. This is not the Kevin Siggy we have remembered of late. He looks so much more aggressive, so much more edgy than we have seen him last season. And I don't like it. He is causing incidents all over the place, and I hope he gets past, or I hope if he does pass Canapino, he passes cleanly, because this has not been one of his best races. In fact, Canapino basically lets him have the position after going wide at Banca de Sabadell.
Yep, Kevin gets through then. I mean, I think maybe it's because he knows that he can win championships now. He's got the pace he can afford to be a bit more... he can afford to have a go to Vries here. Vries and Muller, it looks to have closed up. They are right close to each other now. And Robert has a right good chance at this lead.
Well, I was saying, can you look to Capit and Siggy for the championship? I still maintain that is my stance, but in terms of the race win, I think no one expected the Vries versus Muller battle. That is for sure. Heading into turn 4 Rapal then. Muller closes, but it's not by enough. Sven de Vries experienced enough to know that he can hold on for now. It looks like one of our spectators actually messaged in the race, which might prove quite bad for him, actually, as Sven de Vries holds on there, and Muller going a little bit wide. And I noticed that Olsen Barclay is still very close as well. And looking at Fournier Brewster as well, that's closing up. So, I wonder, and Siggy Canapino's close as well. There's lots of potential battles that can still sort themselves out here on lap 10 of 14, and until the end, which is lap 14, of course. Heading down to the hairpin of La Caixa, though, Muller closes once again, unable to make anything stick. I wonder if he's just biding his time before he gets to the home straight, where he can really get the best of the slipstream.
Yeah, Rob's going to have to give it a good shot there. Going to want to get the slipstream. I think he has won races in the World Sports Series or come close before Muller, so I didn't count him out myself. I thought he might have a chance at it, and well, he's given it a certainty, has given it a good go. And well, coming down onto the back front straight here, you got to think he's going to have to give it a go soon. Time is running out for the German.
Across the line onto lap 11 we go then. He closes. Will he look to the inside? It's going to have to be a dive. He looks to the outside, actually. De Vries goes defensive. Muller breaks late, hoping to take the optimal line. De Vries makes it stick very nicely, though. He's defending very, very well indeed, as is Olsen with Barclay behind. Fournier starting to pull away from Brewster a bit more now. Kevin Siggy's still got Canapino for thought in P9 and P10. Yunt catching Morby. I think Shepard's in that battle as well. Kumar. As Muller takes the lead. He's not okay. It was a late dive around the outside of Rapal from Muller, unable to make it stick, but that was a warning shot if De Vries needed one.
Yep, he's not making Sven's life easy at all, is Robert. You know, I think he knows time is running out, but the American knows that he's got to defend. He's got to make these moves stick, and well, as he said, he's doing a very good job of defending, but at the same time, Muller's doing a very good job of attacking.
Tobias Olsen as well, just holding on to Nico Barclay here. I wonder if he's used up his tyres a bit more and he's got a bit too much heat into them. Brewster holding on to the back of Fournier as well. There's lots of potential battles to come up here. Probably the one to keep an eye on, though, is this battle for P1. There is all potential happenings around the track, but what's the most important potential happening? A change in the lead. And Muller coming around Europe car now before the 14-15 chicane, sorry. He's going to want to get a good exit here. He mounts the curve, cutting the track a little. But he's going to round New Holland now. And I don't think he's got a good enough exit here, Josh. I think De Vries just has that sector nailed so much so that he can stay ahead of Muller where it counts.
Yeah, Rob is going to have to do something here if he wants to. I think there's only about 2 laps to go. He knows he's
sorry, it's Olsen Barclay, sorry, P3 and P4. Tobias Olsen breaking very late into turn 1 there. But Barclay got very close indeed. A bit of a slide there out of Renault. But Barclay's pushing now as well.
Yeah, Barclay, you can see pushing. He's getting so sideways there that, you know, it's not good as he held it, but he's He's getting desperate to overtake Tobias Olsen for P3. This is the podium space as well as Olsen locks up a bit there into that corner. And Barkley's going to want to try and close the gap up a little bit. Speaking of closing gaps up, Wiesenmuller's on the back of De Vries again. And he knows time's running out. There's only a few laps left and he has to make something happen.
So lap 12 or lap 14. They've got 2.5 left to make something happen, both Wiesenmuller and Barkley. Although it looks like Nico's really starting to fall off the back of Olsen now. Perhaps a lock-up causing some sort of a flat spot. As Wiesenmuller goes well off the track there at turn 9. Able to round it up though. That said, he's not looking as close to De Vries as he was a couple of laps ago. And Nico Barclay's past Olsen.
Now, how did that happen?
Well, how did that happen? I'll tell you how. Olsen got very sideways through turn 8, went off track, and Barclay slipped back through into the podium position.
Yeah, that was a close one for Olsen. Almost lost it, but then loses the position. He's got to make that up now, otherwise Barkley's going to have gone through, and that's going to please the Peruvian, no doubt.
Wiesenmuller's had a great exit here, out of turn 15. Through turn 16, he was full on the power, and he's looking. I think this is probably Wiesenmuller's best
Look at the
so
toe
far
he's got
to take the lead of the race. He's got a great toe. He goes to the outside. The Vries going ultra defensive. They break. They come into contact around the outside. Wiesenmuller goes, and wow, he was able to hold it, Wiesenmuller. But well, I'm not sure what to make of that. They came into contact on the straight there. Cars colliding. Wiesenmuller braking. And that is one that the DC is going to have to review, because that was a potential race overtaking move that has just led to a 1.7 gap.
Yeah, Rob, very props to Rob for holding it after that half spin. You know, he managed to keep it in track, and the gap has changed now when he's probably fallen off the back. Speaking of gaps changing though, Olsen Barkley looks to be where it is, but Olsen on the charge.
I'm looking at Fournier Brewster.
As well as his
I'm looking at Fournier Brewster.
Yeah, that's one. Can't get very close. Almost having the Frenchman there, but not quite.
And look at Parker, Siggy, Canapino as well. Morby and Yunta close together as well. There's lots of battles going on all over the track. There has been all race long. And really now they're just coming to a head. Cameron Bruce looking on the inside of Fournier. He's got Risto Capit, his ex-teammate, to worry about as well, though. They were both walk racing last year. Now at two separate teams. Tom Parker's got the Austrian Kevin Siggy and the Augustin Canapino on his back as well. The two Epics under all sorts of pressure for their good points positions here.
Yep, all sorts of pressure going on for these high ranking point positions. Brewster on the back of Fournier, as you rightly say. Cameron on the back of both of them now. Both of them are going to be under fire from the Estonian. Depends how good a tow he can get out of this corner on Brewster. I'm looking to get a fantastic exit, it must be said. And we'll be chasing down Jeffrey Fournier at a rate of knots.
Further up the road, sorry. Barclay Olsen for third here. Barclay on the inside. Olsen on the outside. Contact between the two. Olsen trying to muscle his way around. He's not able to do it though. Fournier holds position. What about Parker and Siggy? Siggy diving down the inside again. He's not learning his lesson. Parker holding on though. But here's Siggy around the outside of turn 2. Up the inside of turn 3. That's a great move. It wasn't looking good initially. Although here comes Parker around the outside now. Canapino wanting to get involved in the action as well. Looks like Parker is holding on for now. Siggy will dive into turn 4 though. Contact between the two. And that's let Canapino. I knew it. He's having an absolute nightmare of a race, Kevin Siggy. And it's all his fault. Those going around the outside now. And he's just turned in on Tom Parker. What is he actually doing? This is not the behaviour that is befitting of a champion for sure. Parker, I would say, unfairly put down to turn 10. Or to position 10, sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately that happened. Obviously, Siggy wanted that place, and now he's going to keep charging Canapino on all this. But let's hope that this sort of thing doesn't happen again in race 10. I mean, he wants position, but obviously you only push so hard. And I'm not the judge. Mine is not to wonder what, who, or why, or who killed who. But nothing to be wondered now is that Sven de Vries is going to take this race win.
Olsen's just turned around Barclay. Oh my word. Okay, so Sven de Vries, we've got to focus on de Vries first. He wins his first win he takes his first win of the season, I should say, from Robert Wiesenmuller. Olsen, controversially, comes home P3. I'm going to have a look here. Yep, Olsen just turned around Barclay. I would say it's very debatable as to whether Olsen will maintain that position. He was on the outside of Barclay. He broke and turned into him. Fournier, therefore, after everything's said and done, could potentially be on the podium from outside the top 10. If so, it would be a wonderful drive from the Apex driver, who actually secured their best results of the season in all of that. Brewster takes P5, Capit P6, Barclay P7. Not deserving of that. Canapino P8, Kevin Siggy after a terrible race, with terrible in the terms of standards, I should say. P9, Parker unlucky to be P10. He starts off our reverse grid pole position candidates. Morby P11, Yunt a good race P12, Kumar a good race P13, Shepard a decent race P14, and Robert Johnson from the back of the grid P15. Your retirements from this race, Menno Klont, Carlos Fernandez and Ruud Heestvik, all disconnections in the same space. So definitely better standards across the majority of the field from a lot of people, but whereas most of the mistakes were silly and self-contained at Russia, there's some people with some very hot heads today.
Yeah, a bit of a better race overall, it could be argued. I mean, there was a couple of incidents, as there will always be in races. You know, you can never really hope for a perfect race per se, but a couple of people who really did well there. You know, David Yunt to come up from where he was into 12th. And, yeah, Cameron Brewster beating Risto captain in all this. I mean, obviously there was incidents, you know, that may have caused Risto to go back, but Cameron Brewster does finish ahead of Risto, so well done to him. And Wiesenmoller second as well. Yes, there was that incident near the end, but Wiesenmoller second place is very solid.
Just seeing, Tom Parker actually says, thanks for the clean fight. So I think that perhaps we were a bit presumptuous in thinking that Kevin Siggy was at fault for anything there. So Tom Parker seems fine with it, so I'd say everything is fine on that front. Still, doesn't distract from the fact that Siggy actually spun Capit, although he did wait up for him.
Yeah, that was a very, very sporting thing to do from Kevin. You know, he did wait up for Risto, and he dropped a lot of positions for it. You know, it would have been so easy just to keep going, but that he waited is very commendable.
Indeed. So who was the big winners out of all that then? Definitely Fournier, I would say. After Olsen's move at the end there, he is absolutely in with a chance of taking that podium post-race. I think Brewster as well. That's a good effort from Brewster, actually. Parker as well. And I would say Nico Barclay as well had a great race. At that point, well, I don't know. I think there's a lot to dissect after that. And, well, that's the job of the disciplinary committee. We can only call what we see on track here. No point in debating, because ultimately it's down to them to decide everything. But reverse grid coming up. Parker, Morby, Yunt. This is where he gained so many good results in 2014. Kumar, Shepard, and Johnson, all with a chance of taking the reverse grid pole position for race 2. Got some interesting candidates there. Parker and Yunt, the two standouts for me. But everyone in that little field could possibly think about top 5s if they get a good bit of luck going their way.
Yep, if they are lucky enough to get a reverse grid pole, you know, it'd be fantastic for them. And, well, we'll see. As you said, David Yoder got so many good results last year from reverse grid poles. Chris Shepard would be a good one to see on reverse grid pole. He's quite talented, and I think he has got reverse grid poles before here in GPV and made good use of them. But yeah, a fair enough race up and down the field. Sven de Vries will obviously be hoping for as low a number as you can get. Because, well, less positions he has to start with this brand new 45 kilograms.
Indeed, and to go down the rest of the weight ballast transfers then, so Wiesenmuller have 36 kilograms. Olsen, I'll tell you what, Olsen's possibly done Barclay a huge favour for race 2, if there's any positive to be taken out of it, because Barclay now has a better starting position for race 2, and he has no weight ballast. Olsen has 27 kilos, Fournier has 18, and Brewster will have 9.
Actually, that's a fair point. We have a comment in the... Comment from Vodbull Motorsports, isn't it not 6 to 10 this year reverse? I thought it was 10 to 15, but...
It's 10 to 15.
It is 10 to 15, not 6 to 10. It does go down to the lower point band of the points there. I thought it was. So, you know, 6 to 10 seems a little bit not much.
It's 10 to 15 reduced from 15 to 20. It's the same as the Masters.
So, yeah, I thought it was, but just thought, you know, to clarify that, you know,
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently Tom Parker was being sarcastic.
Oh, was he? That doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me.
That
doesn't
might
surprise
have
me.
been sarcasm because people are saying so. But people aren't to be trusted sometimes. So I'm not saying
Yes.
commenters aren't trustworthy, but sometimes what people say isn't gospel.
Parker seemed pretty genuine. He said, "Thanks for the actual clean fight," as suggesting as if he had been in previous.
Yeah, but ours is not to wonder why. Ours is just to commentate.
No. We are commentating. I think that we are allowed opinions. We have to call on some things eventually, but as I say, there is a lot to dissect after that race, and for us, we've got to look forward to race 2. We can't look at everything. That's what post shows are for on Sky Sports F1 and now Channel 4 F1 and so on. They've got hours to talk about it.
We should do GPV post shows, to be honest. It would be a fairly good thing, but no one would watch them because, well, everyone always goes after the broadcasts. Like, the stay for the broadcast, you come to watch the races, as any respecting person does, but maybe even a recap would be a nice thing to have. But then again, it would be like...
There is a lot of effort to go into
a lot of effort, yeah, that's the problem. I mean, obviously, if you would like to come and help us with that would be lovely, because we do always like to have all the help we can get. But,
yes.
It's just a theoretical thing, I think, more than anything. It would be nice to have, but it's not really going to happen.
Well, I must say, actually, just as a general, let's do some work for one of our heads of DC, Ben Willis. If you are interested in joining the disciplinary committee who will be looking over this round of the World Sports Series, and indeed lots of things, please do get on the GPVWC forums and please message either himself, so Ben Willis, the other head of the DC, Rob Mason, and they can talk to you about possibly being a part of it. I think I just want to make sure that I'm right with this, Ben. We want people who are generally clean drivers, am I right in saying? People who have good judgment?
Yeah, but we're looking for mature, committed people who are prepared to give up a little bit of their time to help out.
So there we are. So if you're interested in that and you think that you are the right person for the job, get on it and PM either Ben Willis or Rob Mason. And of course, just a general broadcast overview. We're always looking for new cameramen. We're always looking for people who might be interested in being reserve commentators or co-commentators. Again, sign up and let Thomas Hinz know. So that's Thomas Hinz. Always looking for new broadcast people, because it means that if we do have people who can't attend the broadcasts, we have backups to be able to make the broadcasts happen. And I think that's been a big point recently where people have been... Oh, yes, we do. And that's number 13. Would you believe it? David Junt on pole. No, with Kumar.
David Kumar.
That's 10,
Kumar
11,
gets pole. 13.
Sorry, Junt was 12. Junt still starts on the front row. Niranjan Kumar on pole, though. Junt second, Morby third, Parker fourth. Interesting. But yes, general staff promotion thing. Sign up to the forums. Get involved. If you feel you're the right person for a said job, let yourself be known. We'd love to have more people on board.
Yep, always a good thing to have as much help as we can get. We do appreciate it, we really do, when people help out. So, always good to have one with it. But if I may change I know it's not really my job as co-commentator, but if I may change the topic to the reverse grid, Kumar on pole will be very, very interesting.
Indeed.
I mean,
I was impressed with Kumar because he actually kept it on the road and got a decent going position from the back of the grid, but we've seen that he does have those slight lapses where he makes mistakes, either under pressure or something, and this is the ultimate pressure position.
Yeah, it is being on pole. I mean, I started from second in one of my first GPV races. I was under so much pressure that I made a complete hash at the start. But yeah, that's never happened since, luckily. But yeah, Kumar's going to have to get a good start here. We've seen that he is very talented from Formula Challenge. With his 5th place also for SDev. He is a good driver. But it's a case of, can he hold off David Junt at the front? Because Junt is really good as well.
You know what, Josh? I'm actually going to say that it's the people behind the front 2 rows which they're going to have to worry about. Because if you think about it, in that mix, you've got Canapino and Siggy rounding out row 3.
Yeah, that's a worrying prospect for them.
Without weight as well. It must
Yeah.
be noted. Both him and Capit do not have weight.
A very worrying prospect indeed. It's possible that Young could get a good enough start to overhaul everyone else, as could Kumar, but it is the back two rows where things are going to start to get a bit more worrying for people, because, well, if both the front row don't get a good start as they would have liked, it's going to cause problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, do we think then that Yunt or Parker are in with a serious, or Kumar or Morby, let's be fair to the four of them, do we think any of them are in with a chance of actually taking the race win in race 2? Or do you think that it's going to be more realistic to look at a top 3 or a top 5?
Out of those four, I think Yunt and Parker have the best goal, but I'm not entirely sure who's further behind, because I wasn't really paying attention, sorry. Who's in
So
5th to 8th?
So, going backwards from Parker, behind Parker, Canapino, Siggy, Capit, I want to say, Brewster.
Yeah, I wouldn't count out either Augustin or Ristel, especially Ristel. We've seen what he can do. So, if it's going to be anyone in the top 4, I'm going to say Parker or Yunt. If not, then Capit.
I am going to say... I'll go for a wild card. I'll go for Augustin Canapino.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, he has won before, and he's done quite well.
I think I would usually say Siggy from this sort of a position, but I'm not confident in the round that he's had so far. He's shown good sportsmanship, and he's shown that he has provided some good overtakes, but he's not on his A game today from what we've seen. So I would rule him out of a race win, and so I'm going with Canapino. We'll wait and see anyway. Canapino and Capit are choices. Of course, you're going to have your own choices at home. It'll be fascinating to see if any of you actually get the correct... We might all be wrong. Yeah. It could be a double win for De Vries. It could be a double win for De Vries.
You know what? Bartuos could have a miracle race and he could win it. Anything could happen.
Anything could... Actually, oh no, I lie. Capit is behind Barclay, isn't he? Because Barclay fell to 7th.
Oh, well, he might be.
So it's Barclay Capit.
Either which way, 8th to 1st sounds like a sort of Capit move. So, I mean... It
does, you're right.
I think I will formally go for Ristel or Capit, but keep your eye on Parker and Yunt as well.
Yes, for sure. Parker and Yunt, of course. Both podium sitters. Yunt, a multiple race winner in the series, but those are seasons gone by. And this is this season. So we shall wait and see anyway. Everyone being told to take care again, and best of luck to all as we head into our second race of the evening at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, to give it its proper pronunciation, because Barcelona. Here we go then. The full grid has been revealed to us. All 26 drivers are present and accounted for. There are... Gone.
I think Luke Walsh is missing in all this.
There is no Luke Walsh. You're absolutely right. I thought there were 26 drivers at the start of race 1. There were, in fact, 27. So Luke Walsh, unfortunately, not going to be joining us for our second race of the evening. But the man who will be starting on pole position for our second race of the evening will be Niranjan Kumar for Sports Driving Evolution. We'll see what he can do from this hefty position. David Jump, we've seen this all too many times before in his career. Can he convert a podium starting position in race 2 into yet another win, podium, or top 5? Philip Morby starts P3 for Drake Racing. This is the sort of position that Thomas Hinz was in, his teammate, to take a podium in Sochi. Parker's gotten so many podiums from the top 5 before. He starts P4 with Kevin Siggy, P5 in a good... Oh, so Kevin Siggy's actually ahead of Augustin Canapino. My apologies. So, Siggy looking possibly at a second race 2 win of the year. Canapino 6th then. Barclay 7th. Capit 8th. And then starting our weight ballast people, we got Brewster in 9th with 9 kilograms. Jeffrey Fournier in 10th with 18 kilograms. Tobias Olsen in 11th with 27 kilograms. Robert Wiesenmuller in 12th with 36 kilograms. And Sven de Vries, our race winner in race 1 with 45 kilograms of weight ballast in P13. Chris Shepherd will start P14 with Robert Johnson P15. David Frangic will be looking to get back in the points in P60 with Morten Wernerson P17. Henrik Ossiansen starts P18 with Wright Tulicus P19. And rounding up the top 20 will be Tim Brockmeyer, the person who came into contact, or rather the other way around, Tulicus came into contact with in race 1. Bot DeVos starts P21 with Adrian Brazinu in P22. Joel Pereira will start P23. And then the 3 DNFs from last race, Menno Klont, Carlos Fernandez and Ruud Heesterbeek round out our grid.
Yeah, quite a strong 26 indeed. Kumar will want to get a good start here, but he'll have the pressure of Yunt, Morby, Parker, Siggy and Canapino behind him, even Barkley Capet to worry about. And it is a daunting prospect starting from reverse grid pole. Coming from someone who's started from reverse grid second is just as daunting being on that front row. But hopefully, here's hoping he can make the best of it and get a good enough result.
It's a surreal feeling to have track in front of you.
Yeah.
And no one's there, especially going down to the first corner. As someone who used to drive in the midfield all the time, you'd always have people ahead of you to judge your braking zone, you know, so that you know, okay, so these guys are braking ahead of me, it's time for me to brake as well. So it's all too common an occurrence where people hurtle down to turn 1 or turn 2 or whatever's the first major heavy braking zone and completely miss their braking zone because their tyres are too cold, because they're trying to be too aggressive. It is a big worry for all drivers. Yunt will be more accustomed to it, but we hope that Kumar does his best as well, because it'd be nice to see him get a good start in what is his first reverse grid pole position here at the GPVWC. Everyone lining up in their grid boxes and we're ready to go. We've got 3, we've got 4. We got 5 licensed here for the second time in Barcelona. We're racing and it's a terrible start from Kumar. He's got his clutch all wrong and Yunt springs up into the lead, and Siggy's had a fantastic start as well. Straight up to P3 already, straight onto the back of Kumar. Canapino as well's had a pretty decent start. He's up to P4, but Yunt is well clear in turn 1. Kumar holds on to P2, Siggy P3, Canapino P4, Capit up to P5, lost Tom Parker, Fournier up to P7, and who's that? That's Philip Morby off the road, unfortunately. Down the order he goes. Muller P8, Brewster P9, and Shepard P10 with Olsen and De Vries fighting in and around that P10 position as well. Yunt leads the field round turn 4 though. Kumar, after a bad start, is now under all sorts of pressure from Kevin Siggy then, who will be eager to get past the Indian pretty fast, I'd imagine, especially with Canapino and Cabot breathing down their necks as well. Heading downwards towards turn 7 and turn 8 then. There's really not much overtaking opportunity here. Kevin Siggy's just going to have to keep it smart, keep it calm. He knows that David Yunt is getting away for now, but overall, all 3 drivers here in this little pocket, Siggy, Canapino and Capet, I should say, as Kevin Siggy goes mightily wide there out of Campsa. They all have the pace to catch Yunt. We know this. As there goes Capet on the inside of Canapino, he's going to think for another day, perhaps. That move should be saved. Parker, Fournier falling in behind as well as Brewster there. There's been a spin, and it looks like, oh, is that Brockmeyer without a rear? No, it is. Oh, Sven de Vries is round. Sven de Vries is round. Hitting Brockmeyer. Off the track he goes then. There's carnage behind, and our race 1 winner in all sorts of trouble. But at the end of lap 1, there's, oh my word, I think Yunt's made a massive mistake there, because all of a sudden the field's been concertinaed up. But at the end of lap 1, regardless, Yunt leads from Kumar, Siggy, Canapino, Capet, Parker, Fournier, Wiesemuller, Olsen, and Shepard rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, Kumar going super defensive on Siggy, who's bumping with him at the moment. The Austrian doesn't want to give this up. Kumar getting very close. This could be a disaster, but it could be brilliant. As Kumar
here comes Canapino.
Canapino on the back.
Oh, and Canapino's, has he got it? Canapino, I think, is, contact between the 2. Siggy, I think Canapino's just made it. Oh, that was a great initiative from Canapino. Almost took Siggy there, and in fact is going to take in contact between the 2 as they head down to turn 4. Will Capit make it 3 wide into Repswell? No, he won't. Siggy trying to hold on around the outside, but he's being hung out to dry here, and Capit is through. That is a great move from Augustin Canapino.
Yep, Canapino through to 3, Siggy having to go with Fournier here, and look at this big Constantino cars, they're all fighting each other. This is going to benefit Kumar and Yunt massively, because they'll just be able to pull away.
Absolutely. Kumar actually, Yunt needs to get him a wriggle on now. I think he made a mistake which caused that problem. Tell you what though, Canapino's not able to catch up to Kumar yet, because he's defending so heavily off Risto Capit here. And Siggy, he's already leaving Fournier, starting to catch up onto the back of these guys as well. Capit's going to look on Canapino. Nothing doing for now, although Capit's gone. Oh no, Canapino, sorry, gone wide. Recovered it well though, but look, Siggy's right back with them again.
Yep, Siggy back with them. I think Canapino trying to have a go at Kumar as well, so trying to attack and defend at the same time. Very brave. Didn't work, unfortunately. Kumar in all this, trying to keep on the back of Yunt, which he's having some difficulty doing, but is doing nonetheless, as Canapino, the Argentine, wants a crack at the Indian here, and Capit and Siggy and Fournier and Parker all sitting behind, waiting their turn. But Yunt, as he rounds to start the second lap, go on to the third, sorry, having led the second, will be rubbing his hands in glee at the prospect of a 7-car fight.
Yep, absolutely. It's looking very nice. It's not looking as nice as it could be, but it is looking nice. As Siggy looking on Capit this time, braking very early, and here comes Fournier looking to take advantage of the early break from Siggy. Nothing doing there, as I think there's been a move down here at the bottom as Root Easterbeek's going through on Bart DeVos at P14. No, DeVos is going to hold on for now. Henrik Ossiansen also in there. Lucas and Brewster, who's down to P18 after all of that. Also looking, there's a big battle down there for the final points, I'll tell you that for sure now. David Junt still unable to escape Kumar though. This is not going the way he would have hoped, and a big lock up there into Sayat corner, and Kumar's gone wide. Could this be the opportunity that Canapino was looking for? He sticks his nose up the inside of turn 6, heading into turn 7. He breaks later, but Kumar around the outside just about holds on for now. A stubborn defence from the Indian. And here goes Cappy up the inside of turn 9 then of Canapino. Again, Canapino able to hold on, but just for now. And look how wide Capit goes. My word, if he gains a position from this, that could be arguably an illegal overtake. Is heading down into Lekaiksa. Wow, Canapino cutting across Capit, going for Kumar, and he's only gone and gone. They've done no contact between the two, and Kumar has lost 3 positions there in quick succession. A poor end to the move. But, well, I tell you what, Canapino's initial move was, that was something to behold. As Anderson has disappeared, he's back in 5. Never mind, I'm going to keep on going then. So, the top, I should say, Canapino, Capit and Siggy, the danger men, they have all been let loose. They are now free to battle amongst themselves, go after David Junt, but Kumar's got more to worry about here. Is Jeffrey Fournier now is looking on the outside of turn 1. The Frenchman will brake later, and will he go around the outside? No, Kumar's going to brake even later and contact mid-corner. Kumar holds on. Parker in P7 there, holding off the advantage of Robert Wiesemuller and Tobias Olsen, both with weight ballast and both trying to go around the outside. They're not going to be able to do it. Parker holding on very nicely for now. Chris Shepard in P10, holding on from David Francis in P11. Tim Brockmeyer, great effort from the German. Up into P12, he's got Jonsson and DeVos for company. I say he's got DeVos and Easterby for company. I should say right to Lucas, not too far away from this as well. As Wiesemuller and Olsen still battling their little hearts away. But back up to the battle for P2. This is the one we're interested in. 1.1 seconds to gap between Junt and second place is the biggest it's been all race. And that's because these 3 powerhouses of the World Sports Series are all battling amongst themselves. Kevin Siggy looking like the faster of the 3 potentially on the back of Risto Capit here. Heading down to Lekaiksa for the 4th time of asking, will anyone look to make a move on each other? No, they're going to hold station for now behind. Olsen's gotten past Wiesemuller. A late dive into Lekaiksa pays off the Swede up into P8. Kumar still holding on to P5. Great effort as well there. There's been a bit of argy-bargy down at Lekaiksa again between P12 here. Robert Jonsson through to P12. Brockmeyer down to P13. Look at DeVos and Easterbeek also in this battle. It's a 4-way scrap going down to Europcar. All staying clean, and Tulikas in this as well. Brockmeyer through to P12 again, going around the outside of the chicane. He's going to be hung out to dry. He goes across the chicane. Really needed. It was an illegal overtake, that's for sure, but he needed to take that action as contact there. How do they all keep it in one line? I do not know. As Canapino takes the lead. Sorry, Canapino takes the lead. I completely missed that. Down the back straight, Junt, I don't know, he must have had a terrible exit, but Canapino takes the lead of this race then, and he's now right embroiled in this battle with Capit and Siggy as well. It's all kicking off here at race 2 in Barcelona, and you don't know where to look next. Capit is going to look down the inside of David Junt. Junt goes ultra defensive. He's going to be able to hold on. Capit has to watch what he's doing though, because Kevin Siggy is right on their rears as well. As heading down then to Sayat corner, it's turn 5. Capit around the outside of David Junt this time. Is he going to make it stick? No, David Junt holds on once again, and now Capit's going to be left out to dry as Canapino starts to make a lead for himself. Caffett still unable to get past Junt, although he goes deep into turn 7. He covers off turn 8 nicely, and Caffett's still unable to get past. We enter turn 9. Here comes Kevin Siggy as well. Junt, Caffett, Siggy, all keeping round. It's when you need to co-commentate for this one, but Caffett is now on the inside of Junt, and surely this is position done. Yes, it is. Caffett through to P2, Junt down to P3, Kevin Siggy still there in P4, and Joshua Anderson, you are back.
What have I missed? Because I must have missed a load. It was just heating up by the time I left.
We think Junt made a mistake, Canapino through,
no.
And now Cappett's through to P2, and Siggy's all over the back of him for P3.
Right, well, that's not going to benefit David then, unfortunately. He's gone at P2. A podium would still be brilliant for him and for Cosmo Autosport because, well, not the best opening round for the team, but a podium would really set the championship, not necessarily championship winning hopes alight, but definitely the point scoring hopes alight because they didn't have to 2015, but...
It's not looking good for Kumar, I should say, either. He's now got Fournier, Parker, and Olsen all in close pursuit. In fact, Fournier passed on the straight. Kumar breaks later, though. This is a very mature drive from Kumar, doing everything he needs to do to ensure that he holds on to that P5 for now. And he's developing quite a little train behind him as well, with Parker, Olsen, and Wiesemuller keen to join the action. Also looking keen is Kevin Siggy. He is easily past David Junt there into turn 4. So the podium is now Canapino, Cappett, Siggy. Contact behind, though, apparently, is Olsen and Olsen looking to get past Parker, I presume, there. Let's have a look. It was a late break from Olsen. It was just a little love tap, though, and now Olsen looking to get past Fournier as well. The Swedish driver, who was controversially on the podium in race 1. That's a nice clean move past Fournier, who left the door wide open. He's up into P6, so a nice little succession of moves from Tobias.
Yeah, Olsen will want to take advantage of the fact he's now got P6 in his hands. Did indeed take the open door opportunity that Fournier gave him, and Jeffrey's going to want to try and take that back. But we'll have to do something here as Parker has a look at the Frenchman, but doesn't quite have the, the legendary inroads, so to speak, to have a go at the Frenchman. But he's trying. He is trying, and Wiesemuller behind him trying to get past Parker. So very interesting battle in this, like, train for 6th at the moment. But I'll tell you what else is interesting. The fact that Mr. Cappe is making good ground on Agustin Canapino. He's second back at the moment, but that could easily change.
I think Kevin Siggy will actually want this. I mean, let's have a look. Wow, 5 tenths in that fight, in that final sector. Gained on Canapino from Cappe, and Kevin Siggy's gaining as well. It's pretty clear that these two are starting to walk into their stride, and Canapino has got a big battle on his hands now if he wants to take his first win of the season. In fact, look at this, Cappe right with him. David Junt, he's all on his own in P4. As long as he keeps it on the road, he should be safe there. As, let's see, there's Tim Brockmeyer. Brute, he's to be coming into contact. He's to be going through to P12. Brockmeyer remaining in P13. And look, you've got Robert Jonsson here, Philip Morby, Tula Carson Brewster in this battle as well. It's a big scrap on the outside of the points. But it's going to be an even more titanic scrap for the race lead here. Risto Cappett right with Agustin Canapino, and Kevin Siggy can't keep up.
Yeah, Siggy not able to keep up with the two of them. Canapino probably didn't expect this so soon. I did say watch for Risto because he can make one that's happened, and I wasn't lying, it seems, because on lap 7, he's challenging for the race lead from back in 8th.
Absolutely. No weight, though. And remember that himself and Siggy both took the front row of the grid with maximum weight ballast, or the most that they could have anyway, 45 and 35 kilograms. They are clearly the fastest on this track at the moment. It's all about whether Canapino has the steel walls of defence at his disposal this time. Is right. Tulikas falls down the order there, and he's blown his engine, so he becomes actually our 3rd retirement of the day after Adrian Brazinu and Bart DeVos, unfortunately. But we're more interested up here with Risto Cappett right on the back of Agustin Canapino. And the Argentine going ultra defensive already. He's going to have to, because Risto Cappett's had a mighty exit here. Down the home straight we go. Kevin Siggy can only watch on here as he sees his championship rival taking the fight to Canapino. The Argentine breaks later, however, and maintains the position. A good defence so far.
Well held indeed, but Risto Cappett is going to have a very good 1 through 3 here. And potentially make ground. He is making ground. Going to have a crack into 4. You think goes a bit wide, it must be said, but not too wide. Not going to have a crack into 4 then, but we'll have to wait his turn. In fact, you know what? He's poking at him. Wants to go into 5 here. So let's see if he can make it work as the brake for the turn. No, Canapino has it covered again.
And Kevin Siggy's with them now as well. This is what he was hoping for. He was hoping the battle would take longer than one lap, and it has. And it's proven to his advantage. Heading up through turn 7 and turn 8 then. Kevin Siggy braking and catching up under that braking as well. It is a direct three-way battle for the lead as Nico Barclay's down in P17. Oh, he's missing his front bumper as well. So the Peruvians obviously come into some sort of trouble there. But it is a direct three-way battle for the lead. This is going to be tasty.
Going to be about as tasty as the spaghetti and chips I'm having right now, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Spaghetti and chips?
Yep, so not my idea. Not my idea.
What even is this?
It's about as mad as the fight we've got going on for the lead.
Absolutely, right. The top 3 are covered by 0.6 of a second. They have left David for dead as Kevin Siggy taps the back of Risto Capit there. That said, David Junt is about 2.5 seconds clear of Kumar as well. And Olsen's not been able to lose Fournier, Parker and Wiesenmuller. So Kumar, after a very mature defense of his 5th position, I tell you what, those early defensive moves are looking better and better. And it's looking better and better for Capit as well. His second major attack on Canapino here comes to nothing. I wonder if Canapino's got a lower wing, perhaps. And
Canapino must be, yeah. I was about to say, could be running a lower rear wing. And that might be helping him.
I do wonder whether Kevin Siggy's got a higher wing as well, because he seems to lose time down that back straight.
That will help his stability in the corners for certain.
Which is why he catches up here. It's why he catches up in the braking zone as well, as we've got further battling down here, and it's Philip Moore getting past Robert Johnson there. The P14 and P15, that was through turn 3. And oh my word, the battle outside the points as well, with Sven de Vries involved in there as well. It's all absolutely manic, but back up to the front, you really can't keep your eyes away for too long, otherwise you are going to miss something. It's lap 9 of 14, by the way, so we've got 5.5 laps left of this race to combat here. Round Campsa, we head with Canapino, Capit and Siggy. It does look to me like Siggy is just about holding on to these top 2. You know, I don't think he's looking as if he can actually make a definitive move unless one of them makes a mistake.
He is closing in points, but it's the points where there are a lot of corners.
Yeah.
So he's probably got that higher rear wing. But Kevin is definitely not being aided on the straight by said rear wing, and he's losing out there. So his best shot, really, you got to think, is to pressure Captain Canapino into such a situation where they're fighting each other, and he can go through on both of them. It's a risky move to make, but it's looking like his only option.
Rob Wiesenmuller past Tom Parker, by the way, in the battle for getting P9, but further up here, Risto Capit, it's time for attack number 3. Canapino goes ultra defensive. This is the most defensive we've seen him all race. And he breaks late again, but Canapino just has that braking into turn 1 absolutely nailed. That's the 3rd time he's defended off Risto Capit.
Yeah, it's like we saw with Luke Walsh last race. He's just doing such a good job at the defensive driving that it's not letting Capit in, but he's going to try. Is he might be Estonian into? Well, not really going to work there. Makes sense. Minor mistake. Let's let Siggy catch up. So he'll be putting the pressure of the reigning champion on these two. Going to give them some serious food for thought. Is coming around the outside. No, it's not going to happen.
Capit briefly took the lead there. He broke later, was unable to do it. You can tell he's getting very nervous with Kevin Siggy behind him now. He knows that any mistake made or any attack that fails could be an opening for the Austrian, who is right with them now as well. I wonder whether we might see finally a move from Kevin Siggy into Lekaiksa here, the hairpin of turn 10. He's closer than he has been before, but is he close enough? That is the question. The answer is no, he is not. And they will head round Lekaiksa. Status quo once again.
Yep, Kevin Siggy, I think, is going to be rubbing his hands with glee in all this. He's going to be sticking with these two. He'll get it to him. Might not be enough to get him in and move into turn 1, but he'll stick with them, and the pressure will be on Captain. He'll be getting more and more frustrated that he can't catch Canapino, and he's not pulling away from Siggy. And Kevin's hope will not be that forces Risto into a mistake, but he is ice cool as Risto. Does not do that sort of thing. He's not the sort of person to make mistakes, really, when you think about it. And you've got to think he's going to be really frustrated now. He's going to have another go at Canapino at the turn 1.
Here we go then. Canapino's left it late to defend this one, it must be said, but he's actually moved back into his natural racing line because he had that much straight line speed advantage. And look, there's Kevin Siggy again. You can see it's almost as if he's lining up turn 1 to prepare for someone going wide at turn 1 to make the most of it. Because he's done that many times in a row, hasn't he?
He's anticipated it, you think? It just hasn't happened yet. See, Capit's done that twice in 2 laps now. He's locked up into there trying to attack Canapino. I think Kevin's best bet would be trying to line up a good exit through there to possibly have a go into Capit through 5 and 6. But it's not happening, and it's a brilliant short defensive driving.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a fantastic battle between these three, it must be said. Very clean, full of respect. And David Junt can count himself as a part of that as well. Really made the show very enjoyable, actually, in this second race here at Catalunya. As Canapino there goes slightly wide at turn 9. That could compromise his straight line speed down here, but he's got enough of an advantage over Capit into Lekaixa to maintain that gap. It does seem to me, Mr. Anderson, as if we are at a stalemate.
Yep, no inroads are being made at the moment. No one's doing any ground to help themselves, and we are waiting for that one big mistake where it can happen. But we're in a bit of a stalemate at the moment, as the chess term would be used to say. You know, we got Canapino doing a great defensive drive out front. Capit in the middle of this whole Canapino-Siggy sandwich at the moment.
Oh, I tell you what, he's close. He's close.
He's close. He's close. He's having a go. He's got a run on.
I think this is the best run that Capit's actually had. He
now,
took that chicane perfectly. Let's see, he's lap 12 of 14. Canapino goes ultra defensive once again. Capit's going to try and force him into the middle of the track. He break wide. Oh, contact between the two! And this is what Kevin Siggy was waiting for. Oh, Canapino! Terrible rejoin, and that's effectively gifted Risto Capit the lead. Kevin Siggy is missing his front bumper. Nowhere for him to go. And Canapino, well, the racing couldn't last too long, could it? Kevin Siggy will probably want to try and get it home without the front bumper, I'd imagine. But it means that David Junt is elevated to the podium. Kumar is up to 4th. He's looking very nice, isn't he? Olsen 5th. Fournier, now Linus, look at this train. Fournier, Parker, Wiesemuller, Shepard, and Franchich all in one massive gaggle of cars. Easterbeek 11th. And Canapino, who's actually come off relatively undamaged in that whole charade, is now down to P12. But that's a real shame, because that was looking like a great battle then between Capit and Siggy for the win.
Yeah, that was an absolute corker of a battle between them. In Augustin's defence, he had been knocked into a bit of a spin, it seemed, and he couldn't really. When you're in a spin, it's so hard to control these cars. And again, mine's not to wonder why. It's for the DC to decide. But if I was going to say anything, Augustin, you know, it should be, the fact he was in the spin should be considered at least. But it is such a shame to see that. It's a shame to see that race end. But David Junt's going to be thanking his lucky stars, because he's probably going to get a podium out of this.
Yeah, he's in lots of clear air as well. He's got 1.7 seconds. You're saying we've seen a lot of dangerous rejoining today, actually. It must be said there's been a lot of dangerous rejoining. But again, you can't have perfect rounds every race. And well, while Risto Capit flies off to what would be his second win of the season in 2 races, we've had Agustin Canapino DNF. And so that is his charge out. I wondered, was that a disconnection as well? It was. Oh. I think that was a disconnection. So Canapino out of this race with a DNF then for the second time in 2 races. That promotes Robert Jonsson to 12th, Bruce to 13th, Morby to 14th, and it would have been Brockmeyer in 17th if it hadn't spun on the straight, and he's waiting in the middle of the straight. I think actually, considering that there was oncoming traffic, that was the safest thing to do. So fair play to Brock. I tell you what, I've been impressed with him. I've been really impressed with him. And he's just been unlucky not to score. So Barkley back up into the points. So it looks like De Vries is going to be battling him hard for it, as Wiesemuller's been round as well. What happened to Wiesemuller? Let's have a look. Oh, there was contact. Let's see. Shepard went round on his own, I think. And then, he just tagged the back of Fournier. He lost a host of positions in that as well. So he's down to P11 now. Franchich up to 8th. Easterbeek up to 9th. And Shepard up to 10th. Really, let's just focus on this battle for P6 then, shall we? This is where all of the battling is happening. Parker 6th, Fournier 7th, holding off Franchich in 8th. And Easterbeek there in 9th, 3 the closest. I think Franchich on Fournier is probably going to be the one battle which may result in a switch of positions. It may not, though. It's lap 13 to 14 with only got 1 and a bit left. Or hold on, no. I lied, we've got 2 and a bit. Oh, no. No, we do have 1 and a bit.
I think this is the last lap now.
Cab's going on to the last lap, yeah. So he's only got 1 lap pretty much left to do anything.
Yeah, Cabot is pretty much, as you say, he was gifted that win by the incident. You know, a shame that it did happen. I mean, I don't think Augustin, in retrospect, could have gone anywhere, in all honesty, looking at it. You know, he was mid-spin, and it's so hard to control a car mid-spin. But, again, it's not
Let's
my
focus
job
on
to
now,
wonder
shall we?
why. It's just my job to tell you what's happening.
Let's focus on Francisci v Fournier. Francis going around the outside of Fournier into turn 1. That is a lovely move from the Croatian driver. He's up to P7.
Yep, Francis and this look at Fournier still having a go, and then Heasterbeek behind them wants to go. This could be Heasterbeek into 7th if he's lucky.
Yep, Heasterbeek is through on Fournier after a mistake through turn 3 there. And Fournier's had a good event, mind you, actually, the Frenchman, but he is down to P9 after Heasterbeek and Frančić there. 1 out. They are free of their weight from race 1, remember, so their true pace on paper here. Shepard P11 has been overtaken by Rob Wiesenmuller again. Johnson 12th, and really there's a battle between Barclay and Sven de Vries still going on. A front bumperless car versus a car with 45 kilograms. It's a fascinating matchup, and Barclay is currently winning that matchup as well. But looking at David John, I tell you what, this podium is under threat as Fournier is retaking Heasterbeek there through turn 9. A lovely move from the Frenchman. But Jans is under pressure from Kumar for the podium slot. It could all end in tears for the Swiss driver. He's just got to hold on for a few more corners here. But coming round those final corners is the man who will be taking his 2nd win of the season and will be extending his lead in the championship by a long, long way. He needed to do it. He needed a good round. He got a good round. Risto Capit takes his 2nd win of the season from Kevin Siggy. Front bumperless, going off track, just about keeping it on for 2nd place. Jans will take a podium from his 2nd place starting position. Kumar, my driver of the day personally. P4, a very mature effort. Olsen P5, John Parker P6, Frančić P7. Heasterbeek 8th with Fournier 9th and Wiesenmuller 10th. Shepard in P11. Johnson will take P12. Brewster P13. Morby P14. And Sven de Vries is P17. What happened to him there? He was in a spin. And, he lost it all on his own, Sven de Vries. So Barclay, I think, deserving of a final point there. Was able to hold off the challenge of de Vries. Your retirements from this race: Canapino, Tulacas, Brazino, and De Vos.
Well, what a race that was, if anything. I think that's an improvement into race 1. I think, I had some cracking race, and I missed half of it, admittedly, but well done to everyone who finished in the points podiums. David Hunt to get a 3rd on his return is phenomenal. I mean, so we've seen he's done so much through reverse grids, and yes, things may have happened, but a 3rd place is a 3rd place, no matter which way and how many portions you slice it. But he has a 3rd on his return, and he will be super pleased with that. I'm super pleased with that as his team manager.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, that is that then. Another day at the office, another win for Risto Capit. Next time out, though, we head to a completely different track again altogether. We head to La Turkey, I believe. I'd be very embarrassed if it wasn't the Turkey. And in fact, it is Turkey. Good. Another very different track. A lot more streets to combat. The infamous turn 9, 7, 8. 8. I got there eventually. Never mind. Thank you, Mr. Cameraman. The infamous turn 8, the anti-clockwise nightmare for some and dream for others. It's provided some great racing in the past. I'm sure it'll end up with some great racing there once again. We've seen an improved performance from the majority of the field here today in terms of driving standards, and one person who is sure to be very happy at the end of that day is Risto Capit. You've taken your 2nd win of the year, Risto. Maybe a bit lucky with the incident behind you concerning Canapino and Siggy, but at the end of the day, points are points, and that's what you needed.
Yes, this is great. It's just as good as I expected. First of all, getting the qualifying pole with all this weight was extremely hard, but that was the highlight of my evening. And then race 1 was looking good, but unfortunately, Siggy misjudged his braking point. But since he let go of his position and we continued the race in the lower positions, then it was okay. And it was a good race to the end, and I was very happy to get P6 as the first position without weights. And then race 2 was very hard. Again, I was stuck behind Canapino most of the time. I mean, I cannot say anything bad about him. He's a super driver, but it's really hard for him, I imagine, with all that lag, and it's very hard to drive behind him as well. In the end of the 2nd race, we were behind him for a long time. We were both faster faster with Siggy, but it's so hard to get past him. He's lying all over the place, and I cannot see exactly where he's sliding and where I can capitalize. But yeah, I was happy with P2 as long as I get points on Siggy, but I still tried a few goes at turn 1, and yeah, unfortunately it ended like that. I'm quite sorry for Canapino, but yes, very, very happy to pull away from Siggy in the championship lead. That was my main goal.
But obviously that has the double-edged sword effect of then you receiving 45 kilograms of weight ballast again for Turkey. And ultimately, this was something that was a big feature last year, and it really did hinder you at points last year as well, which ultimately led to that championship swinging in Siggy's way. Do you feel that you have a better grip on the car with that maximum weight ballast this year? And do you think that you can like ride the wave a bit better rather than buckling as sometimes you did last year?
Well, considering just the driving, I suppose it's the same. I mean, in Spa last year, I took the pole as well at 45 kilograms. So if you try really, really hard and practice, then you can make it fast. But the main difference is just how you race it. You have to be conservative and you have to choose your moments. And last year I had many mistakes. But if I don't need to win every time, but if I just keep the good points and I get either a good race 1 or a good race 2, then it should be very good indeed.
Fantastic. Well done on your win and another pole position to add to your collection, Risto, and we'll see you next time in Turkey.
Thanks.
No problem. As we will bring in then some more podium sitters, and I think we'll start today with our race 1 winner, Sven de Vries. And Sven, you can count yourself very lucky that Risto and Kevin came into contact. It didn't necessarily gift you the win, as you still had some good defending to do, but barring that second race where unfortunately you got caught up in a bit of problems, a win's a win, and I'm pretty sure that you'll take that any day.
Yeah, I mean, mixed signals in the end, but overall, yeah, very, very pleased to take home a win. Coming in here, I didn't really have to pace, so it's kind of struggling. Would have been very happy with a top 5 even, so qualifying third behind Risto and Kevin was very nice, and I quickly noticed I was able to hang on to them. I noticed Kevin was trying to poke pretty much every corner, so just kind of holding back and kind of waiting for it to go wrong, and it did. It almost cut me out too. But yeah, inherited the win that way, or at least the lead, because like you said, I still had to do quite some defending against Robert, who was very quick. Once I had the lead, I made sure to pay very close attention to not running wide and exceeding the track limits. But Robert gained a little bit more time on me than I thought doing that. So, like you said, had to do some defending, but very happy to take home the win.
Now, Ruud didn't have the best of events this time out, and obviously you had that marred race too, unfortunately, where you just lost out on that point to Barclay at the end there with a spin. What are Adonis Engineering's ambitions for this year? Were you expecting to fight for the title? Were you looking for a top 5, so a return to form from 2014? Where are Adonis aiming for this year?
I think as a team, we're definitely aiming to fight for the constructors' title. Ruud had a disconnection in race 1, so bad luck for him there. But yeah, I think we have a solid team. I'm a little bit struggling to get a good feeling for the car. I don't quite have it yet. So I need to work a little bit on that. But as I've seen over the years, especially with the reverse grids and weights, I think it's very important to stay consistent. This weekend wasn't exactly consistent, but I think that's going to be the key in winning this championship, and that's definitely what we're aiming for.
Of course. Well done on your win. Regardless of what other results may have come your team's way, Sven, it's always good to get one on the board, that's for sure. And we shall move on then to Mr. Robert Wiesenmuller, who found himself in a similar position, gaining massively from that Capit-Siggy contact. Really not a bad return to the championship, Rob. A podium to your name, a good point score in race 2. Ice cold. We thought they were going to perhaps struggle a bit without Strana, but it seems that in McGlade and yourself in the car from time to time, it's not doing too badly at all.
Yeah, that was a very good race for me. I thought I really wanted to win, and I tried as well, and it didn't quite work out, so that's a shame. But overall, with the second place on my return race, I cannot complain.
Are you aiming to try and take a win this season, or have your aims perhaps been a bit more tempered to seeing, we'll see where we end up in each race?
No, I want to win a race for sure. It's difficult because I know that I'm not the fastest driver in this championship when I see the times from Risto and from Kevin, but there's weight in place, there's reverse grid, so I think I will have a couple of chances. And so I'm just trying to get a race win. Yeah, I can't do all the races, so that's gotta have some aim. If it's not in the championship position or so, then I just try to get one win.
I mean, it seems to be like a big collaborative effort from Ice Cold this year. So obviously, you guys have been fighting for the team's title for 2 years straight now, and it seems that it's kind of petered off a little bit because obviously you don't have that consistency or that sharp edge in Eric Strand. But do you still feel a top 5 is possible with the squad that you have?
Well, I have got no idea how the team championship even looks, and well, I was not driving for Ice Cold before. I just did one race in Formula Challenge some years ago, and Eric just asked me that I can do some races, and I will do the next one as well. And after that, I don't really know how it will play out. But I'm just here to try my best, get some good results, and that's it.
Well, you certainly got some good results today, and well done on that podium, especially Rob. And we shall finish up then with Mr. David Yunt. You find yourself in this position time and time again, you convert it into something good. Okay, you had help in the form of Canapino falling down the order, but a podium's a podium, and I think you would take that any day of the week.
I absolutely agree with that. I think I started about. I think I was already the free practice session. Shortly before qualifying started driving the car. Had driven it before, but had to make adjustments to steering and all that. And quite took some time to get adjusted to. Not to mention I kind of skipped quali as I was searching for some old setup that I could use. And I picked one, but qualifying was over, and then I had to start from like the position I was in after the penalties, and taking P12 in the tight battle there was already a great achievement, I think.
Yeah, well, for sure. Does this sort of result encourage you to look for a permanent seat in the series, or because you've been very quiet on the sim racing scene this year? It must be said, you're not in the career ladder apart from the Norwegian reserve role. You've not signed up for World Sports Series. You've not signed up for World GT. Can we expect to see David Junt put together a campaign this year, or is driving something which is out of your mind nowadays?
I guess something is wrong with me since I didn't do any joining any other career ladder or independent series, but I wanted to focus a bit more on TD stuff and do the tidy thing and look a bit after my operations in Formula Challenge and World GT, which is also want to be very important. But I thought, like, whenever space is open and trying to help out another competitor, especially with Miku Power, hashtag Miku Power, it was just a too good occasion to not jump in. So I went in, and for this, even for the bad luck of Augustin, I didn't see if he crashed himself or if he had contact, but third is third. And even though I had quite a lot of problems towards the end with front end not really turning in, so Iranian nearly got me in the end, like in the first race. But for the moment, it was a one-off for Cosmo. So I'm not sure if you'll see me again in the next few races, but I might be. Usually not just looking for reserve rows, but yeah, as I said, I've got the TD job to do, and otherwise looking after my team, so I wasn't thinking much out of the box. So we'll see in the future if I'll come back for more racing.
We hope to see you back, David. You're a good addition to the field, and well done on the podium either way. And so, regardless of whether David comes back or not for next round, we'll still be there, and we're heading to Turkey. Great track, great racing. Every year we go there. I'm glad that we haven't turned it into a car sales lot rather than its real life counterpart, but it should be exciting nevertheless. But there is more excitement to come. Make sure you stay tuned to the GPVWC YouTube channel tomorrow at the same time, where Joshua Anderson will be taking you through the World GT round at Interlagos, and then we head back to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for the Career Ladder Open Series on the Tuesday, along with Formula Challenge. We've got Super Cup on the Wednesday, and we have Super League on the Thursday, and then I believe I'm right in saying that we have our Vintage Series returning the Tuesday after that. That'll be going to Monaco. Goodness knows how that one's going to end up. But for us then, we're back in 2 weeks' time on Wednesday with the Turkish Sport Series. So, I hope you all enjoyed the show. Big thanks to my cameraman once again, Mr. Ben Willis. A big thanks to our standing commentator once again, Mr. Joshua Anderson. I've been James Kirk, and from all of us here is a very warm goodbye.